Hi, thank you for your interest in taking courses in Child and Family Studies at Glendale Community College. My name is Tina LeBaron. I am the Early Childhood Program Director. Gina Weatherly is the Family Life Education Program Director, and Angelique Haynes is our Instructional Service Specialist. There are 2 stackable certificates within the AAS degree. The first is the Foundations in Early Childhood Education. There are 7 courses within that certificate. That is the first certificate that you take. The next certificate is the Early Childhood Certificate, very similar in name, different in number, and that is 8 courses that you would be taking. And then the last would be your general education courses like your English, Comm, Math, Science, and Humanities, and that is the final step into completing your AAS. We normally have you finish your first certificate, and then we might start sprinkling in your Gen Eds so that you have time to take some fun courses and maybe some not so fun courses throughout. And we also have contextualized cohorts, so that way you build relationships in the first certificate, and then you'll take contextualized courses for general education courses with those same individuals. It just builds a team, it builds a network and learning partners. We have 2 scholarship opportunities available. We have Career Pathways Project, PCPP, and this is the scholarship we use most of the time for our students taking early childhood or qualified courses within our degree pathway. We also have First Things First. We try to reserve this funding for general education courses, which is why we kind of sprinkle in your general education courses, because First Things First has an opportunity for a bonus. And so you'll see 6 college credits is $150, and then 12 college credits is $150. So, and then 24 college credits is $300. Once you get your associate's degree, it's $900, and a bachelor's degree is $15. So we try to sprinkle those general education courses in to make you eligible for additional funding. The other thing is we want to try and help you be as successful as possible when you're applying for these bonus programs, and so we will try and notify you as much as possible, but we may ask you to use the First Things First funding when you get closer to approaching one of those goals. Ultimately, it is your responsibility to remember how close you are to those goals during our advisement meetings. The wonderful thing about Child and Family Studies is that there are no placement tests for our courses. Now, there are placement tests for like English, Math, and so on and so forth, but just not for our Child and Family courses. Be aware that you have to read and agree to the PCPP terms of agreement. Scholarship assistance is only guaranteed when approved, and only approved for the time. So if you try to enroll into a course but your scholarship is denied, you will owe that balance. And it's only approved for the semester or that time frame. So if you apply for a course and you put the wrong dates, you will miss out on that opportunity because they won't pay for a different course. So just to be aware of that when you're doing your scholarship. Angelique is really great. After we meet and do advisement, Angelique's great, and she'll stay on. Gina and I kind of mute ourselves, and she works through that scholarship process with you. Scholarship awards are contingent upon availability of funds and the funding priorities. So as long as the scholarships for tuition are approved, then those will be awarded. Now, Scholarships may go away in the future. We never know. But for the time being, that's why it's important to make sure that we take our education and our timeline seriously and move forward with scholarships and advisement days. Scholarships will only cover in-state tuition, which is why we ask you to become a student so we know whether or not you are eligible for that in-state tuition. You have to meet the minimum age requirements. You agree to comply with all reporting requirements, and you must successfully complete every funded course with a C or better. You authorize PCPP collaborating colleges to share relevant student information. They may send us an email just asking if you completed the course, not with what grade, but just if you completed with a C or higher, obviously. And it's usually a checkbox or any other information that they may reach out to us. PCPP scholarships only covers the portion of the tuition and fees not covered by Pell Grants, which is why we do ask that our students do the FAFSA application. You certify that all information submitted in your application is true and accurate. They also cover CDA assessment fees and scholarships for applicants who are applying for the Child Development Associate or the CDA. You have to be a resident in Arizona. You authorize that the Arizona Early Childhood Workforce Registry to receive your CDA assessment results. They have to report their success rates and how that funding was spent. And then you have to review the requirements carefully before submitting your application. Failure to meet these requirements will acknowledge these terms and may delay your scholarship. There are some perks of being a GCC student. You have access to the fitness center, career services, to resume build, support, interview preparation, internship opportunities, tutoring, writing center, student organizations, and clubs. We have new student meetings the first Wednesday, and then new student advisement the third Wednesday. When I look at this, I can see that there is no new student meetings in June and July or August. Please keep that in mind as you're thinking about taking classes. In the summer, faculty are off. That's usually when Gina and I are doing professional development, recruitment, all of those things. So we are not available to do new student meetings. For future advisement, you will receive an email in your GCC account with the courses we advise you to complete for the upcoming semester. So you'll actually get two different emails throughout the year from us. You'll get one in fall for the spring enrollment or advisement, and then one in spring for summer and fall. And so you have the opportunity through that email. You can complete the process on your own, which we'll teach you how to do, or you have the opportunity to meet with us in person or virtually, and then we give you dates in the email. We advise you to take the courses in a certain order to complete the certificates while also completing general education courses. We also advise you to take them in a certain order as we develop courses based on our student population. So if one semester we have a lot of students who are in the East Valley and they need an online course that's normally offered in person, we will reach out to you or the students who we know live in the East Valley, and we will let them know so that they can enroll in that course. So we're very strategic in that process. So please take into consideration what we advise you. And then if you have questions, you can always meet with us to double check. Here is our contact information if you have any questions regarding this video. Thank you so much.